coffee. Canada, 150 years old. Hey guys, I got a brand new video for you today, and today I want to talk to you about a new camera because a lot of you have been emailing me and sending me messages and asking for my opinion on it, since I do own the original Canon 6D. Of course, I'm talking about the new Canon 6D Mark II, and there's a lot of information going around on the internet, and some people are happy and some people are definitely not happy. But let's get into it. There's a lot of things that I think are great about this camera, and some things that I don't think, well, some things that I think that should have been included in the camera because it is 2017. Anyway, first off, it's got a new sensor in it, the 26 megapixel. That's up from the 20 megapixel sensor in the original 6D. It's got a new autofocusing system, which is much needed. It's 45-point cross type, and the old camera only had 11 points, and the center one was cross type, and that's fine if you do focus recompose. But with the new system, it should help out a lot. And it also has dual pixel autofocus, which Canon's been throwing in everything. That's kind of their answer to everything. That's their best thing they got going on right now. It's got a 3-inch flippy touchy screen. They're calling it like a vari-angle screen, which is pretty awesome. I think it's the first in any full-frame DSLR. A lot of people love that in the 80D and stuff. And you know, you got your touch to focus and face tracking and stuff like that. And it's pretty cool to have it in this camera. One thing that's pretty awesome is they've upped the ISO. So the native ISO is now 40,000 ISO. The old camera I think was 25,600. So it's almost double. So you should be able to get some really good low light with this camera. I'm guessing around 12,800. Should look pretty clean. And that's awesome. It's got 6.5 frames per second continuous shooting. The old camera only had 4.5 frames per second continuous shooting. Built-in GPS and Wi-Fi, and now they're saying it includes Bluetooth. So if you can control the camera through Bluetooth, that's awesome because it generally stays connected all the time and it uses way less power. Dust and weather sealed. The old one, they kind of hinted that it was. It's got a little bit of sealing on it. The new one should be quite a bit better. I'm assuming it's going to be kind of similar to what the 80D is. The whole camera sounds kind of like a full-frame 80D. The last thing I want to say is it's got one SD card slot. It's only UHS 1. And for what you're doing with the camera, you probably only need that. But it is nice having the faster cards. You get a better buffer in the camera, and it's faster to transfer the files off to your computer. Alright, so here's the elephant in the room, and that's the video feature. So this camera only has 1080p 60 frames per second. I don't know why Canon left 4K off this camera. In my opinion, it's a stupid move. Even if you only wanted this thing for photography, this camera isn't going to get a refresh until maybe 4 years from now, because that's how Canon does it. The 6D came out in 2012, and at the time, you know, it had Wi-Fi, which was awesome for a camera at the time, but it didn't have 1080p 60 frames per second, just 30, and pretty much every camera around that time was starting to get it, and now we're 4 years later, and this camera doesn't even have 4K video. So it might be a deal breaker for a lot of you. I know it's going to be a huge deal breaker for a lot of hybrid shooters that do weddings, that do video and photo and want that 4K, because it is nice having the 4K video, you know, being able to do crops and, you know, other things like that. I don't know. I don't know why they left it out. It's going to push so many more people to their competition, mainly Sony, because if you want a full-frame camera with 4K video, Sony's really your only option. So yeah, I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know why they did that. I'm going to try and get my hands on the camera. I'll get one in to review for you guys. It's going for $2,000 US, which, you know, that's a pretty good price. If they had 4K video in it, I mean, they'd be selling that thing like crazy, because that's all that anyone wants right now. Even if they don't even have any way to edit it on the computer or display it on something, they want that 4K video. And I see why they'd want that, because it is future-proofing the camera. If you're going to buy a camera, you know, a lot of people don't have the budget like some people do. You know, I shoot with a separate camera just for video and a separate camera for photos, but a lot of people want a camera that can do both, and the only camera that I could really recommend right now would be Sony if you need the 4K video. And you know, it's might be a deal breaker for a lot of people that want that. And you know, if you just want a photo camera that's going to be a beast and something that's going to be super reliable, well, then you buy something like that. You know, you're going to be doing really awesome portraits with it, you can do weddings with it, but when it comes to video, I don't know. A lot of people might be able to vlog with it because it's got the flip screen and the dual pixel autofocus with face tracking. But again, it's 1080p, and maybe that's all you need right now. But yeah, as a future-proofed camera, it's 2017. Cameras have been getting 4K video since 2014, I think. And you know, now we've got a camera in 2017 that has to last 17, 18, 19, so 2020. everyone's going to have 4K TVs, and the infrastructure for the internet and everything is going to be like way beyond that. We're going to have 6K, 8K, who knows by then, you know, and this camera is still going to just be rocking 1080p. But obviously they want to protect their cinema line, which is still kind of weird because if you need a cinema camera, you're going to buy a cinema camera. I'm not going to talk any more about it because personally, I don't care. I've got cameras that shoot awesome 4K video, and, you know, like I said, I have the budget because this is what I do as a professional job. A lot of you don't have this option, so all the people back at the Sony headquarters in China or Japan or wherever they are probably popping bottles and having a huge party right now because this is great news for them. But anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike this video, give it a thumbs down twice. And I'll see you in the next one.